Hey kings, what's poppin'? It's me, James of Regret, and today I'm tackling the High Priest of Sony and the top contender for most pathetic Sony fanboy of all time, the one, the only, Crapgamer himself. Now, a little bit of context for all of you who don't know what breed of fanboy Crapgamer is. He once bitched at Phil Spencer for porting Quantum Break to PC, and he was given an absolute roasting in return. He hasn't lived it down, especially now that he's done and flipped from simping for Xbox to simping for PlayStation. Returning to the topic at hand, the title of today's video is Phil Spencer Caught Lying, and even huge Xbox fanboys are calling him out. He screwed us over! And as you can see, Crapgamer has never let go of the fact that Phil roasted his ass all those years ago. In fact, Phil lives in this guy's head rent-free, and you can't tell me that's not true when he makes like 10 videos about him in the past month alone. Before we get to laughing at this absolute man-child though, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video to help the channel grow. Now then, let's jump right into this shitfest.
Listen, I think Microsoft has come a long way from what they used to be in terms of a few years ago. And I think that, they'll continue to get better. They'll continue to expand. They'll continue to get out of their own way, so to speak. And I think that that's going to be important going forward. The problem is you still have a lot of these like Xbox fanboys who get up in their feelings anytime somebody critiques Microsoft and Xbox as a whole, and that's really the wrong way to look at it, right?
I wonder what Crapgamer considers critiques. Maybe it's complaining that the new Cortana has too much clothes on. He's grasping at straws at this point. He has no real critiques apart from Xbox not do what I say. Which thank God they aren't, because this clown's illiterate when it comes to business.
Like, look, I'm a PlayStation fan, I'm an Xbox fan. I'm not going to get pissed off if somebody critiques PlayStation, because if they critique PlayStation, it probably needed to be critiqued in the first place. Now, a lot of people jump on the entire thing of everything is media bias. If you say something bad about Xbox, it's media bias. If you say something positive about PlayStation, it's media bias. I mean, we keep seeing this literally all the time, and I don't understand exactly where that's come from, because, again, people these companies are going to do both good and bad things, right? And what I mean by that is Xbox isn't going to just do good things. If anything, if you guys have learned anything, right, please learn the fact that, honestly, look, everybody thought Xbox was doing so great, right? Oh, Xbox is doing great. They're so pro-consumer. And what did they do in the middle of all of this supposed greatness? They up and decided one day to try and raise gold prices 100% overnight. And of course, they get called out on it. Of course, it's a situation where, people were very upfront and honest and said, hey, they shouldn't have done this or they shouldn't have done that. And that's exactly kind of my point.
I'm sorry. I was too busy being distracted by his absolutely atrocious gameplay on the background. I mean, I think I understand now why he loves Sony exclusives so much with the amount of hand-holding they do in their games. Anyways, didn't Xbox revert that decision the day they made it after a significant majority of Xbox players told them to go off and take a hike? Meanwhile, Sony ponies are completely fine with Sony raising the price of PlayStation games to $70 a piece, while still only having 12, 18 hours or so of meaningful content.
Listen, Microsoft is going to do things that are stupid and that don't make any sense, even though a lot of people consider them to be super pro-consumer. PlayStation is going to mess up too. You have that whole "we believe in generations" nonsense, and then they go and do, the exact opposite. So neither one of these companies are guilt-free when it comes to this kind of stuff. But
sure, they walked back on it, but I actually believe that there's a very good reason for them to walk back on it. Two, actually. Reason 1. We're in the middle of a pandemic and people don't exactly have as much money to burn as before. 2. There is a semiconductor shortage going on worldwide, which means that computer parts manufacturers suddenly can't produce stuff as fast as anybody wants them to. This essentially means that Sony had to ditch the original plan of shifting everyone to next gen as fast as possible, since it's not only economically unfeasible, but also logistically improbable, which then means that if they want to make full bank on releases until the shortage is concluded, they're going to have to release these games on PlayStation 4 also. Very simple cause and effect in action here. Only console fanboy retards don't understand this.
When it does come to like a lot of some of these sites and stuff talking about Xbox or whatever, you still have those jaded fanboys on the Xbox side that really kind of give it all a bad name. And I know people think that's rich coming from me.
Yes, it is rich coming from him.
But that's the honest truth. Now I want to get into this because I do find this to be a little bit interesting and funny. So let's get down to it. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Crap Gaming, back with another video. You guys have been fantastic. Such a good audience, good videos, bring in good audiences, and I have the best audience around. If you could do me a solid and slap that like button, slap it for me, slap it left, slap it right, slap it up, slap it down, slap Phil Spencer, slap your mamas. Let's slap everybody in town.
Bruh.
Go rack them up. So anyway, so far, a lot of people gave Microsoft's E3 a solid score. I gave it a 7 out of 10, which I thought was a very solid score. But looking at WCCF Tech, they did a review of E3 in general, the highs, the lows, and things like that. And one of their lows was Microsoft's missing lineup, right? The same thing that I said, and I got a bunch of hate and crap for it. So
hate and crap which he rightfully deserves by virtue of being himself.
They said much of Microsoft's lineup is MIA. As solid as the 2021 Xbox calendar looks, the number of big Microsoft projects missing in action at E3 2021 was hard to overlook. Games like Perfect Dark, The New Fable, and Obsidian's Avowed weren't even mentioned. Meanwhile, Rare's Everwild has reportedly been completely rebooted and won't be arriving until 2024 at least. And Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is somehow still stuck in pre-production. Again, I applaud Microsoft for actually laying down some release dates, and they can't show everything at every E3, but it was hard to just feel, to feel just a little let down by their showing.
That's a big nothing burger. This only matters to people who don't have anything else better to do or look forward to in life. If those games aren't ready to show, then they aren't going to show it. It's super simple stuff. I mean, let's be real here. Showcase or not, Crapgamer and his breed of retards would still find a way to spin it off as a negative somehow. Besides, didn't the ponies ejaculate over the title card? No, it's not even a fucking title card. It's the fucking icon of the new God of War game in the works. Crapgamer has literally no leg to stand on and complain about games not being shown.
And they also go on to mention Halo. As a shrug, Halo Infinite is what it is. And they said the following: given its disappointing debut last year, all eyes were on Halo Infinite this year. And while 343's industries didn't fumble, they didn't exactly run it in for a touchdown either. Our new look at the campaign mostly focused on talking heads, keeping anything graphics hounds might criticize hidden. Meanwhile, the game's multiplayer looks fun, but not exactly groundbreaking. With the move to free-to-play seemingly being the main selling or not selling point, 343 have vowed to use the extra year of development time to its fullest. But despite their promises, I wouldn't expect a stunning turnaround. Halo Infinite is going to be what it is, namely a solid old-school shooter with some fun, free multiplayer that isn't going to push the genre forward in any major way. And that's fine, but set your expectations accordingly. Now, they literally got shredded for their takes on this. A lot of people just, attacking them, thinking, saying a lot of different things that I don't really understand, because
he literally could have skipped all of that shit and got to the point. All he really needed to say was that the article was overall positive for Microsoft, but that Xbox fanboys still found a way to get mad over it.
They overall gave Microsoft positive traction, positive reactions for their E3. But when you do look at their lineup, it's the same thing that I said. Like, why would you have been crazy to think that you would have saw something from Perfect Dark or Hellblade 2 or Avowed or Fable? I mean, if you think about it, Everwild and Hellblade 2 were both announced in 2019.
Things happen in development that causes delays. Just because they announced it doesn't mean it'll be ready in a set amount of time. I mean, look at Cyberpunk and Anthem. Those games were in development for a long time, and they still probably needed an extra year or two in the oven. If it's not ready, it's not ready. It's ridiculous expectations like this that gets people disappointed.
We're in 2021. Phil Spencer said in 2018 that he wasn't going to announce games that were 2 to 3 years out show trailers for games that were still 2 to 3 years out. So again, there's some kind of lie caught up in here when it comes to what's being said by the head of Xbox and actually what's being done by these companies themselves. So
You are either lying or you're stupid.
Phil said he'd rather not show a trailer, not announce something in development. There's a difference between announcing a game that's in development and actually showcasing the game. Crapgamer needs to get his head gasket checked if he can't tell the difference between the two.
I find that to be very interesting, to say the least, because when you look at this and you go, okay, well, what's going on here? You kind of scratch your head a bit, because the games that they showed off in 2019 and 2020 seem to all be at least 2023, 2024, and maybe even beyond.
And it's not like Xbox games are one-and-done games like Sony games. Xbox expects you to keep playing and spending money on their game for a while after release. So is it so bad that they're releasing their games in the years to come when we still have games to enjoy and they still have revenue streams to get money from?
That in terms of release dates. And so what was the point in showing them in 2019 and 2020? Other than the fact that you had nothing else. But again, we know that there's nothing else because we can see with our own eyes. Like, I've been saying this for a while now, for the last 2 years. Microsoft hasn't released a AAA Xbox exclusive in almost 2 years. And that's just the truth of the matter. And I talk about game, not flight simulator. Again, by Phil Spencer's own definition, that's not a game.
But it's still a release, and it sold very well. At the end of the day, that's what matters.
So, we're just talking about video games here, first party. They haven't released we're almost into the 7th month of the year, and there hasn't been a first party, big, small, or in between first party game released by Microsoft this entire year. I've never seen anything like that, because this is literally the new generation and they haven't released anything. So yeah.
This is where Crapgamer misses the point big time. Not only was there a major release that sold very well, there was also a major update for Sea of Thieves, as well as the Steam release for Forza Horizon 4 a few months ago. Sea of Thieves has retained its spot as top seller ever since the update dropped, and Forza Horizon 4 nabbed both 2nd and 5th place with its basic and ultimate editions in the Steam summer sale. Halo MCC followed a bit further at 7th place. They are literally printing money right now with what they have released. There is no urgent need for Xbox to really release any new game soon when they still have a constant source of revenue to depend on.
The critiques are perfectly fine, and I'm okay with that. I think that Microsoft is out here kind of critiquing critiquing these things. There's nothing wrong with that. Listen, with Microsoft anyway, people are going to continue to critique it because they don't trust Microsoft. And that's going to be a big problem going forward. A lot of people don't understand that's why that happens. It's people don't trust Microsoft, and I can understand why they don't trust Microsoft, because Microsoft really has not given anybody a reason to trust them.
This bit is actually stupid. Rap has a warped sense of reality where he thinks that Xbox players hate Microsoft and are so miserable that they want PS games to come to PC so that they are miserable too.
I get that, and I've mentioned this multiple times. Xbox fanboys will cheerlead the fact that Microsoft puts games on PC and phones and whatever. But deep down, they don't like that. And they want Sony gamers, PlayStation fans, to be as unhappy as they are by not having any true exclusives, right? Not even timed exclusives. They just want everything to go to PC. Not because they think it's fair or the right thing to do, but because they want PlayStation gamers to suffer like they do. How do I know this? Well, I'm one of them, and you can just see.
He's honestly fucking pathetic.
And that's the God's honest truth. I mean, if you think about it, because look at the stuff that they promised. Look at the stuff that Phil Spencer says versus what he actually goes out there and does. It's a complete and utter kind of different kind of scenario where we see this. So I do hope that people understand where I'm coming from with this stuff. It's not blind hate on Xbox. It's not blind hate on Xbox. It's not blind hate on Xbox.
Of course people understand where he's coming from. He's coming from a place of shame and hatred, from being fucking roasted by Phil Spencer all those years ago. Why else would he go out of his way to make almost a dozen videos on Phil Spencer like every other month? Meanwhile, outside of the La La Land this guy lives in, shitloads of people are liking what Xbox is doing. Sea of Thieves is bigger than ever. Halo MCC is alive and has Probably the most active player base since the Halo 3 era. Forza Horizon 4 is killing it in sales, and Game Pass is showing record numbers of subscribers. These numbers don't lie. People like what Xbox under Phil Spencer is doing. Crapgamer is simply holding on to years-long internet beef and making his whole life revolve around it.
They had a heck of a E3, but that's not saying much given the last 3, 4, 5 E3s that they've had. So I hope that people understand that, and I hope that people understand why people have been so insistent on kind of, being honest about where Xbox is as a whole. I think that it's very important to remember that, just going forward. And hopefully you guys understand where that's coming from. It doesn't mean that it's okay to attack these people. Like Phil Spencer has been caught lying multiple times now. I don't understand why that's such a thing where people just honestly don't believe it. So yeah, I think that that's a great thing where people get called out for this stuff. So yeah, absolutely incredible to see this. Absolutely incredible to see so many fans kind of be honest and talk about this. Yeah, I love this. I love the fact that they've kind of set the record straight. Hey, they had a good E3, but they didn't show this or that or this or that. You know what I mean? Like that's very interesting to me. That when people actually can be critical of their brand that they like, and not everybody lose their crap over it. So
what the actual fuck? I thought he said that Xbox fans weren't critical enough and that they aren't calling out Xbox. Now suddenly they are, and he's one to talk about losing his crap over gaming shit, considering he threw a hissy fit over Quantum Break coming to PC and fling shit at Phil Spencer every single chance he gets.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I think fans are going to be excited for in the future, when you actually have people that are being honest about the future instead of just trying to hide it and cover it up with nonsense. So
you want the truth, crap? The truth is you can't fucking handle the truth. Xbox is in the best possible state it could be in after the monumental dumpster fire that was the Xbox One. They're raking in the cash. Record numbers of people are playing their games and giving them money. And all of this despite their consoles not even selling well. You are fucking retarded, crap, if you think Xbox moves so far have been bad. Please, for the love of God, consider retiring from YouTube permanently.
With that being said, I will link the article in question and you guys can check it out. Let me know what you think. Rack 'em up, slap the like button. Crapgamer out.
Praise be, because Crapgamer's video is finally fucking over. He's fucking unbearable, I tell you what. Only someone in the level of his patheticness could talk for 10 minutes without end and somehow say very little of actual value. No lesson or thoughts for this video, apart from if you end up like Crapgamer, you should stop and really think about your life. Seriously, don't make your life revolve around console wars like this loser, to put it lightly. Really, don't. You're absolutely pathetic if you do. Like, comment, subscribe, and share if you feel like it. This has been Teams of Regret. Good luck and Godspeed to all of you. Signing out.